Now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come, let us work hand in hand, because this is our land. Come, my brother, come, my sister, and let us build a nation together. Ooh, yeah, yeah. Ooh, yeah, Remember, the key to success is working hard. For our country, we must have regard. Forget all your differences, let we start to build. And onward to progress we surely will. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation.
Yes, indeed. We want to build a stronger Grenada, a better Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. But we need all our citizens, home and abroad, to understand that they have a part to play in the rebuilding and building process. Do not assume that your contribution is insignificant or not important. Yes, it is important. We want a better Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique for our children and children, not just this generation. We are talking about the next generation and the next generation. And once we do what we're supposed to do, they will pick up from where we left off. But we have a purpose, and that is to transform this place we call home. I want to welcome you to the Dynamic Hour, and I want to encourage those on Facebook and YouTube, please share the live. Sharing is caring. And that's the real purpose of social media. If you want more and more people to view a program, you need to share the live at least once, because the 3,000 friends you have may not be my friends. The 5,000 friends you have may not be my friends. But when you share the live, it appears on your page, and they will get the opportunity to click, to view, to follow, to listen. So it is so important that you share the live, giving your colleagues, giving your friends the opportunity to listen in. I want to start off this morning by saying, do not believe all skin teeth is green. Do not believe everyone who socializes with you is your friend. Do not believe everyone that you encounter wants good for you, wants you to enjoy a good life or to achieve your goals, your objectives, your mission, or to see that vision come true. Do not believe that. There are a lot of people who will like to see the NDC fail. They are in leadership position or positions in different organizations. The unions, the church, the community group, the business association, the legal fraternity. We could go on and on and on. They want to see the NDC fail. Some of them, they would love for that to happen because there is a level of envy, there's a level of jealousy, there's a level of, you know, they shouldn't be there. That kind of uh, behavior, that kind of feeling on the part of a lot of people. So they don't want them to succeed. So even if the NDC is doing a marvelous job, and they know it, they know that the NDC in 22 months did a fantastic job and they continue to perform well. They are fully aware of that, but still they would seek to undermine this legitimate government who continues to transform Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique every single moment. But because they jealous the fact that these young men and women, they are governing well. They are delivering on the promises they made to the Grenadian people. But they have 5 years to fulfill the promises. But there are some people in this country who believe that they have the monopoly on ideas. They should be involved. And if they're not involved, then they should try to wreck it because they were not engaged, they were not contracted, they were not given a big job somewhere, they were not promoted somewhere within the public service. They become somewhat bitter, somewhat angry, and dangerous because they are now doing things thinking that they would, affect the government or the NDC, but they're affecting the country, the entire country. Some of them, they would write in newspapers. Some would call programs. They would do programs, talk programs, talk shows and so on, podcasts. A lot of them, they're out there. Once they're given a platform, let's say Labor Day, let's say some business conference, let's say something, they would just expatiate. They would vent. They would bring out the hatred, the anger, the bitterness from within. But here it is. Grenadians are happier today than they were 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago. Things are happening for Grenadian people. So the government is performing well, but there will forever be obstacles. There will forever be agents of hate and haters of transformation and progress. They would seek to stand in the way. But I have a message for the NDC and the government. Politics is grassroots. Politics is not just governing from the ministries and departments. Politics is one that is grounded within the communities, within the villages. Politics is about people, and politics is within the villages and the communities. So you have to bear that in mind. So while you do a lot of things for the working people, for the poor and the vulnerable people, for people generally, you need to start calculating those things in actual votes. How do you reach the number that you target? So if you need 2,000 people and that zone will be safe, meaning 1,900 people going to get you the win. But you are for certain if you get 2,000, you seal, you're sure on the win. So if you know that, you need to start understanding it's about getting the numbers. So when Andy Williams, for example, the Honorable Andy Williams, for example, does something in the community, let's say houses, bathroom facilities, fix a piece of road, the basketball court, the community center, engage the schools, engage the people within the different community. They are people. They can vote. We need to start engaging them in such a way that you can get data, you can get the required information. So you know that house with 8 people, you impacted them in some way directly, and they're on your side. They're supportive of the government, they're supportive of you, and they're willing to support you throughout. They make it very clear. You must get the information. You must engage them constantly. Because remember, it is a numbers game, right? And that's for all the MPs on the government side. So while the government is performing well, you need to improve on the politics, marrying both. How can you connect doing a bathroom and a toilet for someone, government doing that, and the politics? How do you connect that? How do you get them to support you? How do you get them to like and appreciate you? That is important. You have to be able to marry both, marry them, right? And again, marriage is pulling two things together or two persons, you could go on and on. How do you pull them together? So the politics and the governance, the government. So you have the seed program, for example. You're giving people the poor relief assistance, right? You're adding new people to the list because that's kind of normal. Some people will die, some people will migrate, so you have to constantly be adding people to the list. How do you marry that? Government with the politics, right? You have the land, the crown land regularization and giving people title deeds to their lands. How do you marry that? So government is doing that, but how do you marry the politics with it? That's so important. You're giving material assistance to many people. You're fixing homes. How do you marry that government with the politics? You have the free tuition policy or program. You have the hot meal program. You have the pension paid and other things like that. How do you engage these people who benefited? And how do you assess whether or not they received, and they are very happy with you and they're happy with the performance of the government? What's about the people who didn't like you initially and now you have done certain things for them? Because you see, politics is about the kind of personal things. While you may renovate a community center, while you may renovate and upgrade a medical station, while you may build a new school or fix the existing school, that is within the community. And there is no guarantee that because you do that, the people within that community will appreciate it and like you and vote for you. But generally, it's a good thing. It's a wonderful thing to do that. But the politics now is different. The politics, how do you get these people to understand that you care for them and that you're doing this to better their lives and improve the community? The politics is important because ultimately you want these people to be so energized, so motivated to leave their homes on election day and go and vote for you. That's important. So fixing a piece of road in a community, fixing the main road, for example, typical example, fixing the main road, right? And fixing a piece of road that goes to 5 homes with, let's say, 25 votes. It's a difference. So while fixing the main road is important, because that is very, very important, the main road. But when you fix that piece of, when you give that 5 homes, 5 houses, right, with 25 or 30 people living there, that piece of concrete road, it is different when it comes to the politics. So I hope you understand. Government, yes, you fix the main road. That's all good. Everybody gonna say, wow, the road is fixed. But when you fix that piece of concrete road, or you give that 5 homes or 6 homes a piece of concrete road with a drain, then it's personal. It is personal. You can then go back and say, look, you ask and I gave you. I want now for you, come to ask you for your vote. So the politics, and I'm saying all of this and using examples to show you the difference, right? Because government could be performing well, very well. But when it comes to the politics is where you go into a community and you give somebody a personal hamper, a hamper of items because they need, some food items and other sanitary stuff. That's the politics, right? The politics is where you go by a farmer and you realize that they need some labor and you get the farm labor program to go on that farm, to clean that farm, to help that farmer. The politics is you go on that farm and you realize that that farmer needs fertilizer and you have a program assisting farmers with that. So you provide that farmer with that personally, you doing that. That farmer might have 5 people in that house who can vote. That's the politics, right? The politics is when you go into a community and there are 5 young persons or people in that house. They finish secondary school, they finish college or so, and you say, well, I know of a program that you can go into. I know of a place where you can get employment. Let me see if I can help you personally to get that, right? That's politics. So it's not just government, but it's politics, making sure that you personally impact that person. That's important. Visibility is important, because here it is. There are some ministers of government who are doing well in government, but they are not seen. One or two of them, they are not seen in the constituency and in the community. You get constant complaint that they are not seen there. And people are asking, well, things are happening in this constituency, that constituency, that constituency, that constituency, but I'm not seeing anything happening in my constituency. I'm not seeing my member of parliament. I am not hearing from my member of parliament. So while government wise, that person is doing well, representing Grenada, traveling, doing X and doing Y, great, wonderful. But when it comes to the politics, if you go on the ground, you'll realize that that person is very unpopular, very, very unpopular. So sometimes you have to understand the politics. The politics is important. So while government is doing well, you have to understand the politics, because remember, there are sharks out there want to bite you up, your opponents. There are people in key places who hate you, who envy you, who jealous you. They vex that you're there. You're a minister of government. You won your seat. You can go on and on. There are people like that out there, and they will do every and anything to undermine you and bring you down. But I'm saying you have to balance, you have to marry. You're traveling, you're representing Grenada, you're doing this, you're all about outside there, and great. That's good for government. But politically, you are at a serious disadvantage. Politically. What's about the politics? How can you travel, engage people, keep people who can get you, let's say, a container of fertilizer, forks, hose, plants, seedlings, seeds, um, fishing line hooks, that kind of thing, to give to your constituents, right? How can you marry that? Because what you find, there are some constituencies where you have some members of parliament and ministers of government doing well. Every day you're seeing roads being constructed, drains being constructed, material assistance given, houses repaired. A lot of things happening in some constituencies, and it's being showcased. So there is a advantage for that member of parliament showcasing that, highlighting it. It looks good, but people then will say, but this person is equally a member of parliament and a minister of government elected. Why they're not doing in their constituency a similar thing? Why a similar thing is not happening in their constituency? You understand the point? Why I'm not seeing that person as much as I'm seeing this person. Let's say, for example, Andy Williams, the Honorable Andy Williams, or the Honorable Ron Redhead, or the Honorable Tevin Andrews, or the Honorable Claudia Joseph, or the most Honorable Deacon Mitchell. Why I'm seeing them, right? Why, or the Honorable Delma Thomas, or the Honorable Gloria Thomas, or the Honorable Dennis Cornwall, or the Honorable Joseph Andal, or the Honorable Quince Britton, or the Honorable Kieran James, or the Honorable Philip Tellisford, or the you understand the point? Or the Honorable Jonathan Lacrette. I am saying all of this to say politics is a grown game. And don't believe I am naive to think that all the members of parliament are performing well politically. Don't believe so. It might appear as though Kem Jones is all okay with every single thing. No, 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 no. No, sir. Nope. I am simply saying it is important that you understand certain things. Very, very, very important. Because the politics is different from government. Totally different. So you have to understand that while the government is performing well, there are some really good things that happen in the last 22 months. But you have to now say, but wait, let me assess politically how I have performed. You, the member of parliament and minister of government, let me assess that. Some self-evaluation is good. Huh? Let me assess, because the politics dictates that you be on the ground, that you engage your constituents. It is a numbers game. Because when the election time comes around, while you can go on the platform and say, well, we paid pension and gratuity. Well, we fixed this school. We built this school, right? Or we paid the dock salaries. We regularize workers. What I get, while you can go, the free tuition policy and the this and that. These are general stuff. These are big ticket items. That's great. But when you go into your constituency, when you go into that village and you start to speak, the people now would want to know what you did for this village. Yes, good, mention the big things, but what have you done for this village? What have you done for my constituency? Even if it's not my village, what have you done in the constituency itself? List your achievements. What have you done there? That is the politics. The politics. That's so important. So I am again saying it is very important to understand that the politics is right there in that community. So while it is all good in government to perform well, you have to go down on the ground, because here it is. Look at the NNP for the 20-something years. For the 20-something years they've been in power. Check it out. They didn't build what, 2 schools, 3 schools, 4 schools. They didn't build new community centers. They didn't build or renovated clinics and you know and hire more nurses and doctors and pay them better. And so they didn't do that. No, they didn't regularize workers and made them permanent and so on. They didn't pay the pension and the gratuity and all those big ticket items. They didn't do that. That is why the NDC came now and do it. But they won 15 seats 3 times. They still won 15 seats 3 times. Why? What did they do to cause them to win that? Because they were not doing as well in government as the NDC is doing now? No. No. But what they did was the ground game. So they go into the different communities and somebody asks for material assistance and they know that in that house you have 5 votes. They make sure and they give them. Some people accuse them of giving them and the material stayed and it rot. We understand all that. The materials stay under the house. Some people say, well, they sell it, but they gave them the materials. They can go back to them campaign time and say, well, I gave you the materials. You asked me for assistance, I gave you. I'm asking you now for assistance for your votes. Right? Somebody in the community, a house without water, running water, they were able to get Nawasa to give them the water, even if they have to pay, because for months and years they didn't get it. Personal. They go in that house, they took 3 or 4 Imani young people, and they put them in the Imani training program, giving them a stipend. Personal. Loyalty. Personal. They put 2 or 3 again in the Empower program, these kind of temporary programs. So while people will say, well, the Imani trainees, they're just trainees and they're temporary and so the politics in the thing caused these people to win because what they did, they target the numbers in the community and in the constituency. So while they were not building, repairing, the community centers, fixing the playing fields, lighting up all the playing fields and so on, no, they were targeting certain things. They go in certain communities, they realize their supporter is X, Y, and Z in a ministry. They promoted that supporter in the ministry or the police force. They gave them rank. Immediately that house becomes loyal to the NNP. You understand the point? That's what they were doing. And they did that for a lot of years. So they were constantly winning while the country was not progressing. Things were not happening the way it's supposed to, and things were not being transformed at all. No, Grenada was stuck. But it continued to win and win and win and win by that formula. So while I am not saying we need to go back to that formula by saying, well, the national things are not. No, I am saying do what you're doing. The government is performing well. Perform well there. Continue to do that. The big ticket items, achieve that, fulfill your promises and so on. But don't forget the politics, the ground game, the simple things. The simple things. Don't forget that. Go into the communities. Let people see you. Engage them. Listen to them. There are simple little things that must happen politically because you can perform well as a government, and when it comes to the politics, you're in problem. Because it's the politics that getting you into government, not the other way around. Not the other way around. The politics gets you into government. If you can do it right, when you go into communities, engage the people. Engage them. Listen to them. Assist them in any way that you can. Every constituency has a certain amount of money for infrastructure projects, community projects, roads, bridges, drains, that kind of stuff. Don't forget that. Utilize your allocation. Do things in your constituency, do things in your village, because it will pay off at the end of the day politically. The politics, the politics is important, very important. So there must be a balancing act. Government is performing well. Hooray, hoorah. They're performing well. They're doing a fantastic job as ministers and so on. You're doing a good job. But look at the politics. How do you marry both? What do you need to do? There are community groups that are very influential in communities. How do you support them? How do you get them involved so that they can be an influencing force for you when the election time comes around? They're community leaders. How do you make them happy? Because we are Africans. You know. We are Africans. And in the African culture, in villages, you must deal with the chief. You must deal with the leader in the community. That person who is influential, who is respected, who has that level of, influence within that community. So you might have 5 of them, 6 of them popular, liked. When they speak, people listen to them, people follow them. You got to make them happy. That's the politics. They may not be a contractor, They may not be a carpenter or a mason, but you could give them a contract to build a piece of road. But you must make sure that they get a system, guide them, that they get a good carpenter, a good mason, and 5 helpers from the community to build that piece of road. And you might get the best piece of road ever. The best piece of road ever. Yes, the best piece of drain ever. But you're creating employment for that person and the rest in the community. Tactical. So not everybody has to have a degree. Not everybody has to be Mr. this and Mr. that. The brightest here and the bright. No. The politics dictates that you meet the person halfway. That you understand the need to win. You want to win. You want to win an election. You don't have to wait for a year before or 2 years. No. You're laying the groundwork. Right? There are some people, when they call me on my phone, I must answer. I'm telling you, there are some people, once their name show up on my phone, I must answer. Because I know they are key to my operations. They are key. There are some people that calling me, say, I'll call you back later in my mind. Because, taking 50 calls a day. People would call me every day. So when I go through and see some message, I say, I'll message you after. I'll follow up. I'm not going to tell them that by my mind. But there are some people, by the time they message me, I respond immediately. When they call immediately, because I understand they're important to my operations. Not everybody who out there listening and viewing this program supports this program financially or otherwise or in kind. No. There are a lot of people out there who, they listen, they love the program, they like the program, and they have finance that they can assist. They don't give a cent. No. They don't give 1 cent. You understand me? I am celebrating 10 years in talk radio and podcasting, doing this voluntarily. I have an event coming up on May the 31st. I could tell you from the back of my head the people who bought tickets. And that could give you an indication, not plenty people so far, but a lot of people out there listening to the program. But I could tell you who bought a ticket for $50, 50 EC. Just 50 EC. Who say, well, I'm not going to be there, but I'll sponsor 10 tickets, $500 EC. Or I'll sponsor 3 tickets up. I could tell you off the back of my... You understand? So I know I am not guessing this. I know that there are a lot of people who listen to the program, home and abroad, and to dip their hand in their pocket to show appreciation, because it's a dollars and cents thing, to keep the program going, to maintain, to just survive with a family and to pay bills and make commitments is money. You could pray until thy kingdom come, right? You could go down by the river and pray for your clothes to wash. You have to wash it. You have to wash it. So there are a lot. So I'm cognizant of that. There are a lot of people out there who listen and came up praying for you and I love the program and I this and I that. I say, okay, thank you very much. Keep doing it. But I also know that there are people who are willing to give financially to keep this program going, to keep the operation going, the little that they have. They don't have to, but they do it because they understand without financing, everything goes flat. You understand the point? But I'm making this point to say there are key people. There are people when they call, when they message you, you have to call back. You have to. There's some people when they call, Kim, I want to talk to you, and they're talking until they're talking on but for on the phone, for 30 minutes. And then I can't remember nothing what they say. I can't remember nothing. But there are people who support the operation, who wants good and who wants this to continue, and they speak for a minute, and I could tell you every single thing that they say. You hear me? But I am using all of this to let you know, to understand, right? There are people in the community that are key, very important people in the community, and you need them to win again. There are people within the business community that are key, and you need them to win again. So a business person, for example, would dip their hand in their pocket during your campaign and give you $50,000. Give you that. I want you to win. I support in your campaign. But there are other business people who say, hey, I like you, man. I like what you're doing, but they won't give you $50,000. They won't give you $100,000 to aid in your campaign and making sure that you win. They're not going to do that. But when you come in power and you win, and they want a meeting with you, or they call you on the phone to speak to you about something, you've seen their number and you're answering. Right? You have arrived. You understand the point? You see the number, you're answering. You see them, you pass in, hey, hi, and you're gone as though you don't know them. Right? You have events, you're not even extending a courtesy, like inviting them, sending a special invite. So there's national events. You got 10 tickets or 20 tickets, 20 whatever invitation to let them come. You're not bothering them. But when the election time comes around again, you're going to go back to them and say, well, I need $100,000 for you to help me. You're joking. You have a project, a construction project. That person is involved in construction. You're not going to engage that person to say, well, we have a bridge to build, We have something to build. And bid now, enter it. Right? Enter. So you could get that contract, or you could get this and get. That's what the politics dictates. Don't make nobody fool you. That's the politics. People could talk about this and talk about that. You can't do this and the government this. Give me a damn break. Tell them how they foot. You hear me? The politics requires that kind of touch. That personal touch. You hear me? You could say what you want. That is what the politics dictates. So you could be Mr. Nice Minister, Mr. You think the minister, you being minister, this getting you to win what? Getting you to win what? Huh? What you winning? You're joking. You have to go down on the ground, go into areas and identify what you can do to cause that 10 households to vote for you and to support you. Go and find out what their needs are. Because that's politics. There are a lot of people out there, a lot of noise. There are a lot of people out there, well, the NDC, and they like the government, and they like this. But when election time comes around, they ain't even going and vote. You know that? They're not even going and vote. There are some people who, they're more big like wherever. They ain't even going and vote for you. I'm telling you. That is why the NNP always focus on the poor and the vulnerable, the poor and the vulnerable. The poor and the vulnerable, the poor and the vulnerable people tend to go out and vote quick, fast. They first in the line, the poor and vulnerable people. But the man who have, they say, well, I don't want to go and vote. Go vote for what? You don't make a difference. I have already, they can't make anything different. The man who is Dr. this and master's degree this and first degree this and all the bougie and they cannot even influence their family to vote for you. I'm telling you, there are some of these people, they get big work and they're on boards and they're in this ministry as this and that. They're in statutory this. They're big and everywhere you see them bougie. They get big work and so on. They don't even know their neighbors. They don't even know their neighbors when they go to big gates, electric gates, the vehicle they press, and you move on the side, they go inside, they lock up, and the morning again, they press and they gone again. You don't even know their neighbors. They cannot even persuade their house, their wife, or their children to vote for you. They can't even do that. It's the poor people, the simple people that go out and vote all you. Yeah. The simple, ordinary people, the working people too, yeah. Check it out now. Check it out and you realize. So politics is a local sport, a local thing, a simple thing, down on the ground. That's where it is. So I understand this thing to a T. The reason why I am still standing is because I understand the politics of talk radio and other things. I understand that to a T. And I'm speaking in this way because I know they're listening. I am fully aware of that. And look, I communicate with them often, speak to them, chit chat, you know, often. We good. You hear me? But it's so important when I speak on this platform for you to get it. And once you get it, they will get it. Because you're going to send a message to them. Politics is a local sport. You have to go down on the ground and you have to understand the needs of the people. Right? Let me tell you this. You underestimate the most honorable Deacon Mitchell and his politics. A lot of people underestimate this man. Let me tell you this. Deacon Mitchell is a better politician than a lot of past politicians in this country who you used to say they thing and they big politician and they good at this. Deacon Mitchell, the most honorable Deacon Mitchell, is a better politician than Keith Mitchell and a lot of them. I'm telling you, look at what he's doing. He goes into a community. He realizes that there are a lot of people with pit latrines. What he did? The wash program, giving these people a decent, modern bathroom and toilet facility. You hear me? Families impacted one time, same time. A household of 6, 7, 8 people, one time. He goes into a community, he realizes that he have no sporting event and so on. He fixed the playing field and he light it up in 1, 2 communities. He engage the people in the community. They realize that the community center, they have no way to congregate and to meet and so on. Fix the community center. He realized that there's a need for a piece of road, fix the road. You go in the community, you realize that there are a couple of houses that are, you say, fix that, fix that, fix it. Yeah. Don't underestimate this man here. You're joking. You're making a mistake. I am very observant. You see the most honorable Deacon Mitchell, he is a true politician. Yes, some people underestimate him, and he's tactical. If you go through St. David, look at St. David well. The streets are well marked. Yes, well marked. This street, that street, that street, this street. Eh? You're joking. Check it out. The amount of people up there, the amount of work-on opportunities they get in. I mean, it's island-wide, but the politics is local. It's a simple thing on the ground. And he is a good example of that. If the others, every one of them, can do a similar thing, because don't believe they can't do it. They have the resources. You have to be able to work it right. I am saying it's a local thing. You hear me? Why when I go to a funeral, I go and I chill, I mix, I mingle, sometimes I supposed to come on the program, I'm not even coming on. Because I am doing the politics there too. When I go to an event, an activity, I'm doing it there too. You understand? That's what it is. It is important that you understand the politics is a local sport, simple on the ground. Understanding that, you're there for a long, long time. You hear me? Do not underestimate the most honorable Deacon Mitchell and his politics. This guy is smart. Politically, he is smart. You hear me? Look at the people he has around him. People that he's comfortable with and who are going to get the job done. Don't underestimate this man here. You're joking. You're joking. Because at the end of the day, politics is local. Politics is ground, on the ground. So you could be performing wonderfully great at the minister level, government, because the government is doing good. The government is performing well. Nobody could deny that. And then people run their mouth like the Labas. That's their business. They could run their mouth like the longest river in Grenada. That's their business. They will always run their mouth. They will always talk bad. But any reasonable person will conclude that the government is performing well. You're doing a good job. But the politics, there must be a marriage. There must be a marriage. Because ultimately, it boils down to that. You have to please certain people. You have to appease certain people. You hear me? Don't fool yourself. There are certain people you have to kiss. There are certain people you have to hug. There are certain people you have to provide a lifeline for them. There are certain people when they call you, they say, well, look, I ain't have this today. Quick, you have to get it to them. Don't play with that. That's the politics. You hear me? The politics. Don't underestimate that. The politics is local, is a grown thing. Don't believe because the government is performing well, well, then you're going to just get a pass. You will win next election because the government performing well and you in a constituency, they're not seeing you, they ain't hearing you, you ain't doing that, you ain't building road, you ain't fixing drains, you ain't nothing. You ain't there. You only, you minister, you this and you that. You believe that they're going to get you there? Huh? Because the government is performing well and it's all good? No, sir. Nope. Sorry. No. It's more than that. So you have to be strategic. You could say what you want about the most honorable Deacon Mitchell. He's on the ground and he walk in the constituency. And when he see this here, we're fixing that. We're fixing the road, fixing the house, fixing that. We're fixing the commission. You're joking. Or you could say what the hell all you want about him. He is a true politician. You could say what you want about Andy. You could say what you want about him. You don't see? You could say what you want about Ron. You could say what you want about Ron until thy kingdom come. He always outside. You see him every day. You see him fixing that, doing this, doing that, fixing that. Yeah. You could say what you want about Tevin. Day and night fixing this, that. He dancing Shango, he dancing Marenga, he dancing all salsa and all. You could say what you want about him. But you will see him there. It's important. Very, very important. The politics is a local sport. It's a ground thing. It's local. You have to be able to engage. And when you understand, boy, in that community, if I fix that piece of road, I will get more votes. If I renovate that community center, I will get more votes. If I fix those 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 houses, I will get more votes. You understand me? It's all good to go in a school and you're giving out this and them children and them. Some of them, they don't remember your name. It's all good to go in something and you're giving out. But the politics is a targeted thing. You hear me? So, folks, I am saying, I know there are a lot of people out there. They say, Kem Jones, boy, I love your program. I love you this. I love you. But ask them, have you bought a ticket for Kem Jones 10 years in radio and social media doing this? Because you expect him on Sunday to come on from 1 to 2 again, volunteering. You expect him on Monday morning, 8 a.m. to 9 to come on again, and in the night. And you expect him Tuesday to do the same thing, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to do the same thing. But have you bought a ticket for 50 EC to show appreciation? If you could make it, you make it. If you can't make it, you can't make it. Have you done that? No. A lot of people have not done that. So I'm saying to you, have the tickets. They're all here. You hear me? It is important that you show appreciation. It is very, very important to do so. You hear me? After 10 years of serving you, trying my very best to bring the information to you, to motivate you, to empower you, to enlighten you. Tickets, right? Tickets. And I know all who bought tickets and all who got tickets so far. It's written down who sponsored tickets. I know. You hear me? At the end of the day, appreciation. Appreciation is key, Some people underestimate that, Saying thanks. Saying thank you, sweetie. I appreciate you. Appreciate us always with love. There are people who give to this program. And some people would believe that that person is my woman, right? Or that person is my brother or my father. I'm telling you, some people who give to this program, when I send them, I say, thank you, sweetie. Thank you, babes. Babes, when I talk about babes, some people are vexed. Thank you, babes. Thank you, sweetie. I appreciate you as always. Thanks. And I appreciate that, When I tell them that I love them and I appreciate, when I see some of the folks, because they give to the program, I hug them, I kiss them, I embrace them. Appreciation. Because look, they don't want anything, except to see this country transform and remain on the right path. Yes, that is all what they want to see. They want to see Grenada move forward. That is why they show love and to me everywhere I go, because I appreciate them. And I know them like I see when, by the time one family member sick or die, if they're sick, somebody run in the hospital within no time. You hear me? Sometimes one pass away, I quick to extend condolences. I quick to be there at the funeral. Could be in Karaku, could be in Piti Mati, wherever. A day in the funeral to show solidarity, to show that I am here to support you and be there. That's what it is, right? Appreciation is key, very important. Don't play with that. So when they have an event, I'm there. Somebody go to events and I have a little money on me. Somebody asks me for a drink, I give them. Particularly if I know these people and so on, I have a drink. I go to Mayday, because all the unions, you have to buy drinks. All the unions, you have to buy drinks. Yeah? But what you gonna do? You go, you show appreciation and love. That's what it is. That is how you build relationships and maintain it. But I'm saying all of this to say to you, it is very, very important that the 15th of this month, in 12 days' time, I will be celebrating 10 years on radio, serving you. 10 years. Free, volunteering my time and effort. You hear me? On the 31st of May, I'm having an event to celebrate the moment. It costs money to put on any event. And the ticket is just 50 EC. Just 50 EC. I have all of them, a whole pile of tickets. They're here. They're not going out. 50 EC. Just that. You could buy 2 tickets. You could buy 100 EC. Gives you 2 tickets. 2. You hear me? You can, even if you're not coming, you can sponsor a couple tickets. Right? As a show of appreciation and thanks for the last 10 years of service. You hear me? So it's good. Praying for you, Kemba. I love you. I like the program. I like this. I like it. But have you bought a ticket to show appreciation for the last 10 years? You go down by the river. You want to wash the clothes, huh? But you want to pray to God and say, oh, come on, wash the clothes. But God said, I give you the energy. I give you the strength to wash the clothes now. Do the thing now. Important. I am saying it is very, very important that we understand appreciation. Appreciation. From top all the way down. Remember that. So, folks, I want to wish you all the best. Have a wonderful day. And remember, government, they're performing well. But the politics must be married. We must marry 2 of them. Put them together. Join them. We have to marry them. Because ultimately, it is the politics that will get you back in government. You hear me? The politics. Never you forget that. The politics will get you back there. So, when you go into the communities, when you go on the ground in the communities, check out the people by. Help where you can help. The little that you do, it will count politically. Some people say, well, the NNP used to build drains all in the back of people's house. Don't play with that. They building a road only for 3 families. Don't play with that. Don't play with that. They go, they identify 2 or 3 uh, young persons or young people in the house, and they put them in the money training program, the empower program, the all these different temporary things. Don't play with that. Don't play with that. You hear me? Don't play with that. They go, they realize there's a police officer supporting the NDC, they promote him. Especially if he's good and so on. They promote him. Yeah? Some people say, well, they promote him and they promote him because his family by 20 votes. You hear me? 20 votes. Prison officer, same thing, and so on and so forth. They look for the people. Another time, we know it. Nobody had to tell us. They were looking for the people and they promote them who became PS, who became senior this and senior that, and they became very loyal to NNP. Yes. So, politics. Don't forget the politics in the thing. The politics. So, yes, the big ticket items, you're achieving that and you could boast about that. But let's get down to the politics in the community. How do we make a difference there to help our supporters and help our people and help people so that they can support you, so they can be there with you throughout? Because election day, okay, you see, you have to make the thing easier. It has to be easier next election compared to the last one. We fight a damn good fight and a hard fight too. Don't believe it was a walk in the park. Don't believe for a moment it was a walk in the park. And don't believe the next one coming will be a walk in the park. Don't believe that. You hear me? Don't confuse yourself. According to my partner, don't stupid up yourself. You hear me? It wouldn't be easy. But you must lay that foundation. How do you make it easier for you? The next election. What do you do to make your win easier? And that's a big question, What can you do as an MP, a minister? What can you do to make it easier for you next election? You have to always think that way, What do I need to do to make it easier? You see? But for me, I already know that we need to get, that's from my end, right? Not party or anybody, That's from my end. I already know we need to get between 0 to 3,000 or so people to register. And I've started the process, right? I already know that. That's from my end. Getting 3,000 or so people to register. Our people, pro-government, folks in the diaspora, folks at home, getting them to register. I already know that, and I'm working towards it. Everywhere I go, I know that. A gentleman met me. Well, he called me. He said, Kem Jones, boy, I'm here, I listen to your program and so on, and I want to give you like a change towards your 10th anniversary, right? 10 years. So he said to me, where will you be? Or you could meet me at X and Y. I said, yes. So he said, you will meet me by Springs, by the bakery, right? Some bakery. I said, okay. And I went there. He said, boy, Kem Jones, I listen to you, He said, I'm going tomorrow and get registered. A Grenadian, but he resides in the diaspora. He said, I'm going and get registered. And then he gave me 100 US. Well, he knows because he listens to the program. 100 US. And he says, this is for 5 tickets. Say, I won't be there, but that's for 5 tickets. Because I love what you have been doing for the last 10 years, nonstop. He said, I love what you do. Because if we have more like you, Grenada could be a nice place. Because remember, the opposition forces, they are getting louder. The opposition forces, they are regrouping. They are organizing more podcasts, more talk shows, more this and more that. Every day they're on the airways. Remember that? Don't forget I. But I'm here. And I'm the only one out here Monday, Friday, to Sunday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Well, nothing on Saturday, but on Sunday again. And then Monday. So let's say from Sunday to Friday. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We off Saturday and back Sunday again. For the last many years. Consistently so. And we know, right? My good friend Terry Forrester, he's on a Sunday. He trying, a good boy, right? He's a good soldier, and I knew him long. Good camper. When he in something, he in something. And he wants to make sure that that thing succeeds. Eddie Frederick, he trying his best with his program too. Speak Out Unfiltered. Kim the King and the team, they're trying their best to bring the information out there to the public. Kim the King, he's on a Thursday, every Thursday. Once a week, every Thursday. And they're doing a damn good job. Terry Forrester every Sunday. Right? Every Sunday. I think it's from 12. Is it from 12 to 1? I think so. Right? And then you have Eddie Frederick. I think he's on a number of days during the week on his podcast. Right? I don't think he's on radio and so on, but he's doing a fantastic job. He has always done so. But I'm saying, I'm here Sunday from 1 to 2, Monday from 8 a.m. in the morning to 9, Monday night from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m., Tuesday morning from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., Tuesday night from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m., Wednesday morning from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., Wednesday night from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m., Thursday morning from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., Thursday night from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m., Friday morning from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. And I'm back Sunday again. For the last 10 years, I have been at it because I understand the need. This is not a want, it's a need to be out there articulating, to be out there putting the information on the table. Very important indeed. Very, very important. It's no joke. You hear me? There are thousands of people who listen to the program on radio, on social media, and so on. There are people who talk about certain things after they listen. They spread the word. That's how it goes. We are on Vibes 101.3 FM, 106.3 FM. That's Vibes here in Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. We're on Wild 106.3 FM in New York. We're on YouTube, Vision Information Services. We're on Facebook, Grenada Transformation Agenda. So we are, and you have Kem Jones, you could view from there too. So we are out there consistently so for the many years. It's not easy, but we have to keep at it. We have to keep at it because during 2008, 2013, there was no one out there. No one out there from 2008, 2013. You hear me? All the people who were with NDC during the campaign and all those different things in the struggle, they go straight into government. All the spokespersons and so straight into government. Advisor this, minister this, senior this, da 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 da. There was nobody out there. You hear me? So someone is saying, so Eddie's program is at 2 p.m. on a Sunday. But I think he does other programs during the week. I stand to be corrected. I would see other programs during the week. Someone is saying to me he's on a Sunday at 2 p.m. But I still believe that he does programs during the week too. All right? But I'm saying all of this to say to you that it is important, very important that you understand during 2008, 2013, there was nobody out there to defend the party. As someone is saying to me on Sunday. So I thought it was like all during the week. Someone is saying Eddie's on a Sunday. I thought it was throughout the week, right? So I am saying to you, during 2008, 2013, NDC was in power, but there was no one out there to defend the party and promote the party and push the agenda of the party and to tell you what's going down. No one, lest you forget that. And I came on the scene in 2014, right? But I'm saying to you, we learn. So this time wrong. This time wrong, folks. We have to be out here. We have to be out here doing what we must do to keep the flame burning and alive. Can't stop because the opposition forces, check it out. You have this woman that does wear on a makeup day. She on a podcast, right? I think she's only on YouTube. I think it's YouTube, and then she does something on either MTV or whatever they replay her program, right? Then you have one in the United States on a Sunday, and his program is replayed, I think on GBN and something else, somewhere else, right? Then you have the NNP boy, the Tomcat. He's on nearly every night, right? Then you have, I don't know, the mosquito is still alive. I know the mosquito used to do, the mosquito man used to do something, right? I don't know what become of him, but he used to be on. Then you have that police boy there where they kick out, right? Some in the classroom or some kind of stupidness, something like that. He's on pushing that agenda too. Then you have this unkept guy there with all the beard and tie up beard and plait up beard up north. He's on talking rubbish many a times, right? So you have he. Then you have the one that I exposed with it. We used to live in a pizza house in up in St. Patrick's Day. Not Riverside, you know, you call it up there. Montrose, somewhere up there. Where at once I told you I could take a bamboo and just, you understand the point? Right? So he and who is with him? Well, they normally join up and team up. So they on that program. And then you have the next one in the morning pushing a certain agenda. And then you have the one on WFM, right? Pushing a certain agenda, allowing these people to just call and say anything, bomb the gum. You understand the point? Then you have another one in the night on that same WFM. So you have to understand what is at play here. And all that I mentioned to you, their opposition programs get towards misleading in many instances, spreading propaganda for the opposition forces, and we can go on and on and on and on. You understand the point? On and on and on. They push that agenda. Everything government does, they try to spin it, they try to distort it, they try to, that is what we are up against. That is what we were up against during 2008 to 2013. Remember that? They were just like that during 2008 to 2013. The only thing that's different now, your humble servant is here this time around. And I've been at it for the last 10 years. So they ain't getting away. And they don't have a better command of the English language than your humble servant. They're not more charismatic than me. They're not more popular than me. They're not more liked than me. They're not reaching more people than me. They could do what they want. They're not able to connect with more people than me. They just can't. And I can take them on any day. I am way more smarter than many of them. They're not in my category. So you have somebody like me here holding the fort, fighting the good fight, and keeping that going. That's very, very, very important, folks. Don't underestimate that. It was not like that during the 2008-2013 period. That's the learning period for us. We have to learn. And the opposition forces on talk radio, on social media and so on, they were like that. Yes, they were like that during that particular time. Let me just get rid of that idiot here on the program. I try to tolerate them to a certain extent, but they don't understand. The minute time you come under my live and you start posting things, stupidness, and I block you from Facebook and under the stream, all your comments gone. Nobody will see none of your comments, no matter what you post. So if I decide to block anybody under the live, you're gone. If you go back and you try to check to see if they post anything, they're gone. Nobody could see anything they post. You see? So you gotta be careful on the people's live program. Gotta be very careful. So I'm saying it's important that you understand what's going down. We have to learn, and as we move forward, we need to improve. Very important. Very, very important indeed. So I want to wish you all the best. Take good care. Don't forget, I'm celebrating 10 years in Talk Radio. 10 years. It's a lot. That's a decade. 10 years is a big deal for me. So if you want tickets, you can send me a WhatsApp message. You can call, my number. My number is scrolling under the program there. Everybody knows my number. But it's important that you buy a couple tickets. If you're coming, you come. If you can't come, so be it. But support, appreciation is key.